I'm a little nervous.
I understand, but I know exactly what you mean. We now teach that America sucks. America's bad. America does this wrong. America did that wrong. America beat up the Native Americans. White Europeans did. The people who gave us America destroyed the environment down in the Caribbean and so forth. We have enchained women, enslaved blacks, the worst people on the face of the earth. Created this country, and as such, we've got all sorts of original sin. And yeah, I agree with you totally. This is actually something that's been going on for years.
Well, I think there is a void in the grade school and high school education.
I agree.
People are not taught patriotic poems. What struck me, it enraged me last night. A television show I've always liked, X-Files, had an entire episode devoted to showing how the U.S. government planned the assassination of JFK, RFK, and Martin Luther King. And I'm sure a lot of people who haven't been versed much in American history will now accept this. I sort of see this as the spreading web of Oliver Stone theory now to be basically accepted. And this bears out your point about the CIA. People are willing to believe that almost immediately.
Well, you need a foundation for it, again, and this is the thing that has gone unremarked on by far too many people for way too long, and that is the ever-spreading victimology in this country. Everybody's a victim of something, and generally it's a victim of the power structure. And what has been the power structure in this country? White guys. White guys have been the power structure, and everybody has been victimized by them one way or the other over the course of this nation's history. And now it's get even time, and that's what... without that, without the feminist movement making that premise stick, without the civil rights coalition in this country making the premise stick, without the advocates of the welfare state making that premise stick, I mean, the whole thing, the poor wouldn't be poor if it weren't for Ronald Reagan giving tax cuts to the rich. I mean, that's victimology, and this is how it's spreading. Without that having taken hold, I don't think the rest of this stuff would be successfully flowering, but it is.
Rush, can you think of a movie since the early 70s where the CIA have been the good guys? We've seen the KGB as the good guys in most major Hollywood movies.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if any of the Clancy movies involving the CIA have been, because I don't know about the movies, the books. The Clancy books, the CIA is not demonized, but he's had some severe disagreements with the way his books have been produced. That's a good point. Excellent point. Look, Mike, I'm glad you called. Thank you very much. Always great to hear from college professors, teachers at institutions of higher learning, tuning into the EIB Network. Back with our final segment in the hour right after this.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
I have on one of my new ties from the Rush Limbaugh No Boundaries collection for fall and winter '96. It just looks great with this dark blue shirt I'm wearing. 24 brand new ties, 12 new scarves make up this collection. They're all pure power, folks. This tie is getting rave reviews, as they all do. And you know what? We've got matching pocket squares for all these ties now, and that just really completes the look. And these pocket squares are so terrific. We are offering one of your choice of these pocket squares free with the purchase of 2 No Boundaries ties. Now, here's a phone number, 800-431-7874. Call that number, get a free catalog, find your nearest No Boundaries tie retailer, 800-431-7874. Or you can see the entire collection on the web at www.rushties.com. Here's a partial list of retailers carrying the ties: Dillard's, Joslin's, McAlpin's, Bacon's, Dayton's, Hudson's, and Bon Marché stores. The Rush Limbaugh No Boundaries collection, all power ties. You gotta have many.
From politics to pets, we keep Wayne County talking on 1150 WGBR, Goldsboro's very own.
Good morning to you. Bright and shiny faces in all kinds of places. Hey, let's get it together. It's time for another morning show with Tony Walker. It happens Monday through Friday mornings, 5 a.m. until 9. We take 4 big hours to get you up, ready to go, bright and shiny, hitting that positive note just for you, giving you the information that'll keep your day moving. So join us early mornings. That's 5 a.m. until 9 on WGBR for our big old wake-up call. It's better than, a big old kiss. By the way, we've got sports from the world of racing with Ned Jarrett. The North Carolina News Network has sports, too, plus news from NBC. There's trivia. Our great birthday club, where we like to inform everybody who's having a birthday. And what's happening in the business, show business, that is, well, we know that, too. And you'll find it each and every morning right here in our little old neighborhood. That's mornings on 1150 WGBR.
Hi, my name is Wataga Cox from the Goldsboro Social Security Office, SSI Outreach. Here's an important announcement from Social Security. Many people think that supplemental security income is just for adults. Well, disabled and blind children can receive regular monthly SSI payments too if their parents' incomes are below certain levels. To find out all about supplemental security income for children, contact your local Social Security office or call 1-800-772-1213.
Hi, I'm Mary Chapin Carpenter with a message about making choices. You can always choose between your Beethoven and Bo Diddley, but don't choose between people because of their race, religion, age, gender, national origin, or disability. That's discrimination, and it's against the law. A message from the folks at the U.S. Civil Rights Commission and this good station.
HR, would you do something? I got a conflict. Would you find out for sure when the CIA Christmas party is? I've been invited to that, plus some CFR Christmas party, and it looks like they're on the same day, and I'm not sure. So I have to make up my mind which one to go to. Lafayette, Indiana. Kim, hello. Welcome to the program.
Hi. The level of hysteria in Los Angeles and your previous caller demonstrates the degree of concern about drugs that these people have. And I think they're starting about the problem in the wrong way because they won't accept a government verdict on drug distribution anyway. They should start with what they do know. They know who the pusher on the corner is. They can find out who that pusher bought their drugs from and so on to the top, and they would be more satisfied with that answer, I think.
An excellent point. However, this does indicate that maybe drugs is really not what has these people so upset out there, because that's an excellent point. Got to take a break. Be back in just a sec, folks. Don't go away.
Knowles Carpet, your Carpet One store in Goldsboro, delivers the buying power of over 500 stores nationwide. With this comes tremendous savings for you on all your carpet needs. Choose from a variety of brands, styles, and fabric combinations. Knowles also features Karistan Oriental rugs. When you're ready to recarpet, let Knowles Carpet help you save through their association with Carpet One, America's largest carpet retailer. Knowles Carpet, 2311 Way Memorial Drive, Goldsboro. Quality flooring, expertly installed.
Hi, this is WGBR's Dr. Joy Brown. It seems our world gets more sophisticated each and every year, and the issues we face can be just plain tricky. I promise to help you deal with life's stumbling blocks by offering honest, straightforward advice. You'll be surprised how much we learn from each other. So please join me, Dr. Joy Brown, weekdays at 9 for a no-nonsense approach to life in the 90s. Hear what everybody's talking about.
On 1150 WGBR, Dr. Joy Brown, Monday through Friday mornings, 9 till noon.
First in Wayne County. Hear what everybody's talking about. 1150 WGBR Goldsboro.
NBC Radio News. The FBI has accused a career CIA employee, Harold Nicholson of Virginia, of selling secrets to the Russians. Correspondent Dan Scallon tells us Nicholson was arraigned a short time ago.
Nicholson was arrested at Dulles Airport as he was about to fly out of the United States. The FBI says it has photographs and video of Nicholson taking pictures of top-secret documents, which he allegedly sold to the Russians over a nearly 3-year period for more than $100,000.
Nicholson is being held without bond on a charge of conspiracy to commit espionage. It carries a maximum penalty of death upon conviction. Police in South Carolina are searching for a man who's wanted in the deaths of his son and his 3 stepchildren. Police say the man's estranged wife came home yesterday to find her 4 children shot to death in their beds. They've been dead at least 3 days. Authorities say a revolver and a note from Satterwhite to his wife in the living room of the home were also discovered. I'm Barbara Porter.
Sweater for John, bike for Claire. Peter's a problem.
You know, a computer makes a great family Christmas gift.
We've thought about getting one, maybe next year.
Well, now through Tuesday at Sears Brand Central, there's no billing, no payments, and no accrued finance charge till March 97 on all computers, camcorders, DSS systems, and TVs over $499.
Then again, there's no time like the present.
Present, huh? $399 minimum dollar purchase on Sears card, APR 21%. Minimum finance charge 50 cents. Regular credit terms apply after 0% finance charge period. See store for details.
Tom and Kate Chappell on Tom's of Maine natural toothpaste with fluoride.
People have very particular tastes. Some people are spearmint lovers, some are peppermint, some love the kind of hot ball taste of the cinnamon, and others are really quirky and like our fennel.
Well, people are different, all kinds of differences in flavors.
And we have a whole range of flavors that people can choose from, and it tastes wonderful.
Tom's of Maine, where goodness comes naturally. Hearings in Miami began today into last May's crash of ValueJet Flight 592 into the Florida Everglades. SaberTech President Stephen Towns, whose company hauled oxygen canisters suspected of igniting a fire on the plane, says a big lesson's been learned from this disaster.
Not one of those oxygen canisters was labeled clearly as a hazardous material that came out of those aged airplanes. The labeling issue is a very, very strong lesson learned because my mechanics should not have to guess.
Transcripts released of the final moments of the doomed flight provide a chilling account. The pilot is heard saying, "We're losing everything," while passengers are heard screaming and shouting in the background. The Supreme Court has issued a ruling expanding police powers in car searches. Correspondent Bonnie Urbay says officers now don't have to tell people they're free to go before they begin searching for other violations.
An Ohio police officer stopped Robert Robinette for speeding, and the question for the court was whether the officer had to tell Robinette he was free to go before searching his car for drugs. The officer found a small amount of marijuana and a controlled substance known as MDMA. The justices said the officer did not need to tell Robinette he could leave before searching the car.
Authorities are combing an area of beach between the Rio Grande River's mouth and Brazos Santiago looking for more bodies. That after 4 people drowned, apparently trying to wade across the river into Brownsville, Texas. All systems are go for tomorrow's launch of the shuttle Columbia. NASA's Bruce Buckingham says Mother Nature should cooperate.
The only problem that we might see with the weather tomorrow is the possibility of having a low cloud ceiling, but even with that, the forecasters are giving us an 80% chance of getting off the ground.
Columbia is nearly 2 weeks late in blasting off for a 16-day scientific mission. 61-year-old Story Musgrave will become the oldest person ever to go in space. On Wall Street, the Dow at this hour is down 11 to 63.37. With NBC Radio News, I'm Barbara Porter.
Sweater for John, bike for Claire. Peter's a problem.
You know, a computer makes a great family Christmas gift.
We've thought about getting one, maybe next year.
Well, now through Tuesday at Sears Brand Central, there's no billing, no payments, and no accrued finance charge till March 97 on all computers, camcorders, DSS systems, and TVs over $499.
Then again, there's no time like the present.
Present, huh? $399 minimum dollar purchase on Sears card, APR 21%. Minimum finance charge 50 cents. Regular credit terms apply after 0% finance charge period. See store for details.
Don't look now, but the biggest thing in movies is headed your way. This is Star's Movie Channel, with more exclusive first-run theatrical movies in prime time than any other movie channel, like Apollo 13, Pulp Fiction, Babe, and Mr. Holland's Opus. Just call your cable operator or satellite provider and say forcefully without shouting, "I wanna see stars!" You'll get the point. Only the best movies become stars. An Encore network.
QVS Computer Accessories and AIM Electronics will help you make the right connections to your computer. Whether it's a modem, monitor, mouse, microphone, keyboard, or printer, AIM Electronics has the cable, switch, or adapter you need. QVS and AIM Electronics, helping you make the right connection. AIM Electronics, 411 East Ash Street, Goldsboro. Call 734-3221 for the right connection. AIM Electronics and QVS Computer Accessories.
Well, a weak cold front looks like it should push through the area from the west sometime tonight, but there's not a lot of really cold air back behind it. And our forecast for the afternoon, we'll call it mostly cloudy and mild, some patchy light rain and possibly a few showers drifting in from the west. We'll have highs this afternoon around 59 to 65. Then tonight, cloudy with scattered showers possible. Lows tonight in the upper 40s to low 50s. On Tuesday, we'll have morning clouds around. They'll give way to gradually increasing sunshine. Highs tomorrow around 57 to 63. I'm Mike Moss at the Weather Center.
Gentlemen, to the one, the only, the award-winning, thrill-packed, ever-exciting, increasingly popular, growing by leaps and bounds, Rush Limbaugh program, where among the many things we do each day, instructions on the wooing of women continue.
Yes, this is Susan McDougal. Are there any messages? Oh, shoot. I'll call you back later.
This is a special edition of the Rush Limbaugh program, America, the way it ought to be. And now, from our studios in New York City, here is Rush Limbaugh.
Thank you, Johnny Donovan, and thanks all of you, Rush Limbaugh and the Excellence in Broadcasting Network, coming back to you for another full hour of broadcast excellence. If you'd like to join us on the phones, the number is 800-282-2882. A lot of people continue to want to get in on this subject about the CIA and drugs in South Central Los Angeles, and we'll get to it here shortly. There are a couple of other news items. Actually, there's a lot of news items today I want to touch on. But one more thought about this CIA and drugs in South Central. If you ask me, and I know that you all do, I know you all tune into this program each day to find out what I think about something, because only then do you know what to think about it. It's throwing a little bone to the liberals out there. It's often been debated, what's the cause of the drug problem in this country? In other words, to solve it, should we go after the supply, thereby saying, yes, it's a supply problem, that if we interdict enough drugs coming into the country, there simply won't be enough for all the people who want to use the drugs, and they'll have no choice but then to quit. Or we have had other people say, no, this is a demand problem. The problem in America is that too many people want to screw up their lives. The problem is that too many people want to run around as unfeeling, stoned, out of their mind zombies. Too many people in this country want to forget everything and just get high, get low, whatever it is. And until we fix our demand problem, there's always going to be a supply for it, no matter what we do. Now, I tend to come down on the second side. I think that it is a demand problem. Now, let's go to South Central Los Angeles. It is my contention, and if some of you disagree, feel free to tell me. I may be naive here, but it is my contention that if people didn't want to do drugs, not even the CIA could make them, unless the CIA dragged them into some remote building, strapped them down, and injected them with addictive drugs, and then sent them back out on the streets. Other than that, and I don't doubt that somebody is going to level that accusation in the near future. Other than that, how do you explain anything on anybody but the user? Well, Rush, some of these youngsters go out there and get 7th graders, 7-year-olds, 8-year-olds. They say, hey, have you tried this rock candy? This is really good. Let me show you how to use it. and they get them hooked at a young age. CIA is doing this, obviously. CIA is facilitating this. My whole point is that if there weren't people desirous of getting lost inside this stuff, not even the CIA could make them. And so, now, a lot of people, I know what you're saying. I just know you people. I know you're out there and you're saying, oh, easy for you to say, Rush. Easy for you to just look at drugs and say you're not interested. Your life is probably full and rewarding, and you don't need to do any of the other things that other people... So you want to make an excuse for using drugs? Does anybody want to call here and make an excuse? Does somebody want to call here and try to legitimize an excuse for doing drugs and blame it, again, on class differences? Do you want to try that? I hope you don't. Because if we're to the point in America today where economic differences justify destructive behavior, and that destructive behavior can then be blamed on the power structure itself, we are in heap big trouble. Whatever has happened to the concept of personal responsibility? Where are the stories in America's secondary schools today about the people who came from abject poverty, who avoided the temptations that were obviously in front of them, stuck to the tried and true method of hard work, devotion, and responsibility, and found themselves successful and rewarded human beings? Where are those stories? Those stories apparently aren't being taught anymore, and they clearly exist. They happen in this country every day, but they're not taught. Obviously not. The other things are being taught. But it just strikes me strange that something that is so requiring of an individual to act as drug usage can be blamed on something else, an institution, a government building housing government employees. It's different with welfare. It's different with those kind of things. You can pass out small amounts of money that barely allow somebody to eke out an existence. And all of that, of course, done under the name of compassion. And you can create trouble that way. I mean, you can't claim that needing to eat is an addiction. You can't claim that needing shelter is an addiction. You can't claim that people are just engaging in the normal pursuits of happiness. You have to be able, with drugs, however, to equate drugs with food, drugs with shelter, drugs with nourishment, drugs with water, in order to take this conspiracy theory to the lengths to which it has been taken. Our caller, last caller in the previous hour, pointed all this out by saying, look, if the people in South Central LA or any other neighborhood are that worried, simply go down to the street corners where this stuff is happening and shoo the drug dealers away. Say, we don't want you here. Just get them out of there. If you really want to tackle a problem. You can't, because in too many parts of the country, these are organized criminal rings, gangs, and what have you that are doing it. People say. Fact of the matter is that since there is so little mention of that strategy, and so much comfort and excitement revolving around the ability to blame the CIA, you got to wonder what's really bothering the people who showed up at this little town meeting in South Central on Saturday. Is it really drugs that's bothering them, or do they have all sorts of... I mean, look, when you've got a member of Congress that represents this area saying that the real problem here is Reagan firing the air traffic controllers in 1981, and the place erupts in a standing ovation, you got to admit, folks, we have huge problems. That's stranger than blaming the CIA for drugs. It's because we had some substitute air traffic controllers that somehow, I guess, didn't know enough to understand that the CIA was flying a airplane loaded with drugs coming into the airport, whereas the regular PATCO people would have known that and would not have allowed those planes to land. Come on! But common sense doesn't matter here. And drugs really are just the vehicle whereby the grievances these people actually have are aired. And that's where you should be concerned if you watch this stuff. When you blaming Ronald Reagan and what does the CIA stand for in these people's minds? I'm telling you, folks, it is this consistent victimology culture that has been sown. This web of victimology has been spun. It is deceitful. It is intricate. It's been going on for years and years and years. We've got so many people in this country who think they have no control over their lives. They have no control over what happens to them. If it's good or if it's bad, it has to happen because somebody else did it to you or did it for you. It cannot be because you did something good or bad, right or wrong yourself. So it's a situation that people look at and they throw their arms up in total frustration because when you think you're making progress, the economic conditions for the black middle class are on the rise. You see that number of statistics indicating the quality of life for black Americans, particularly the black middle class. Those statistics indicate the quality of life is improving. You see far more people of color in genuine positions of power that they have earned, not that they've been given. And you think you're on the road to making progress, and then something like this happens and you realize just how deep-seated and rooted the problem is, and then you come to the conclusion maybe this stuff's never going to be solved. Maybe it is just the way America is going to be for the rest of its days. Certainly hope not.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
Have you taken my advice yet and bought an allergy-free air filter? Well, do it. If you haven't done so, just make up your mind to do it. When you do, you can send a listener response card back to the company so they get an idea of how happy you are with their filter. Now, for years, the people at Allergy Free have gone through these cards, and they're always amazed at the overwhelming and positive responses that allergy-free filters get. I mean, here's a sample comment. I bought this on Rush Limbaugh's reputation. It has lived up to what he says about it. What can I say? You shouldn't be surprised, folks. If I'm telling you it's good, it's good. And for a limited time, Allergy Free will be giving away, absolutely free, an allergy-free auto air purifier. It's a $19.95 value with every electrostatic air filter sold. In case you missed it, it's free. Now you can clean the air in your car while you clean the air in your home. Call 1-800-ALLERGY today. That's 800-ALLERGY. Call today.
The new Mita DC8090 is the only automatic copier that collects finished documents, resets originals, and makes over 1,000 copies unsupervised. So no more minding big copying jobs. Instead of listening to Swan Lake, you'll have time to pirouette, jeté, watch the bobs. Forget about the copying. The DC8090 does it all. Arabesque, the mirror. Automatic copying. Mita perfected it. Call 1-800-ABC-MITA.
Price sells cars, and Leith of Goldsboro has the models, option packages, and colors you're looking for. So whether it's Cherokee, Dodge Ram Truck, Neon, Sebring, LHS, or a Isuzu Rodeo, Leith has plenty, and all the styles and options you want. Save thousands at Leith of Goldsboro. Now's a great opportunity to find out how much you'll love your new Dodge, Plymouth, Chrysler, Jeep, Eagle, or Isuzu. Come see Leith of Goldsboro, where price sells cars. Highway 70 West, Goldsboro.
Auto Owners Insurance makes it their business to get to know yours. Running a business is a full-time job. So is protecting it. Auto Owners Insurance protects thousands of businesses just like yours. They'll access your needs and eliminate your insurance problems so you can devote more time to what you do best, managing your business. See your no-problem Auto Owners Insurance agent, Brewers Insurance, 133 North Center Street, Mount Olive. Call 658-8585. Taking care of loved ones at home is not an easy task for a family. To help, Guardian Care of Goldsboro offers a respite vacation care program. This helps families take a vacation or just take a break without worrying about their loved one's care or the high cost of 24-hour nursing. Guardian Care provides quality nursing, home-cooked meals, and recreation in a home-like atmosphere. If your loved ones need care during your holiday vacation, Guardian Care can help. Located at 501 Forest Hills Drive. For more information, call Scott Pender at 735-4427. WGBR congratulates new members of the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce, including Warren Supply, Shelton's Harley-Davidson, G. Brooke Bundy DDS, Smith Service Company, Tar Heel Motors, Performance East, Village Inn Pizza Parlor, and Century Uniform. They join with 700 local businesses in an effort to advance the general welfare and prosperity of Wayne County. Again, congratulations to the new members. And for more about the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce, call 734-2241.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the award-winning Rush Limbaugh program on this, the Excellence in Broadcasting Network, the most listened to radio talk show in America today. Rick in Richardson, Texas, you're next. I'm glad you called, sir.
Yes, Rush. If the CIA or Ronald Reagan wanted to destroy the black population in South Central L.A., as this group claims, why did they not make an attempt to legalize all these drugs to make it easier to do? I mean, why do it the hard way? And what's the explanation for the high rate of alcoholism in these areas that we know exists?
Well, I will only play devil's advocate with you here, and I will try to answer this question as they would answer it in South Central. The reason I'm going to legalize drugs is because that would destroy too many white people, and by keeping them illegal, you've got an excuse to put more black people in jail. See, I've learned this stuff really well, folks. I mean, I understand it. English, I'm telling you, everybody's amazed, but I understand the rap. I understand how it goes. I've been trying to warn you people about this for I don't know how long. Let's see, Rob in Englishtown, New Jersey. Welcome to the program.
How you doing? And thank you for taking my call.
You bet, sir.
Okay, yeah, it appears to me that this whole thing is just another episode of scapegoatism. If you look back at during Vietnam, they blamed the heroin influx on basic CIA involvement. During our involvement in Central America, same thing. They more or less scapegoated the CIA about the cocaine problem. And then, once again, it's just to avoid who's really, culpable for it.
Who's really what?
Who's really responsible for it. Which I really don't know. But the fact is, as long as there is customers available, someone's going to be there to supply it.
Precisely, especially with the profits as big as they are. And where are the people out there complaining that members of their own racial group are participating in the destruction of fellow members of the racial group? I guess, in certain segments of our population, we got people who think that the Council on Foreign Relations and the Trilateral Commission are responsible for everything that goes wrong. And in other segments of our population, we have people who think it's the CIA responsible for everything that goes wrong. Now we got people believing that the FBI is covering up for the United States Navy in shooting down a United States airliner. What is next? And don't try to restrain yourself. Come up with the most outrageous thing you can think of, and I'll guarantee you can find somebody that will believe it. Bruce in Virginia Beach, hello. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you for taking my call, Rush.
You bet.
I have just one real comment about the whole conversation that's coming out of Los Angeles regarding drugs. When are we and the rest of the citizenry in the United States going to actually characterize that kind of rhetoric as the racially biased hate speak that it truly is?
I'm glad you asked this question, Bruce. The answer to your question is never. Do you know why? Why is it, for example, that the mayor of San Francisco, Willie Brown, a black man, can say of Elvis Gerbach, white quarterback, San Francisco 49ers, he's an embarrassment to humankind, and have no racial connection to his statement? How come he can criticize any white man he wants, and nobody will ever say that there's a racial component to it? Whereas, you turn that around and let it be a white mayor attacking a black quarterback. And I guarantee you the only element people would be interested in is the racial component. Your question, why can't we say that what's going on is blatant racism toward whites in South Central L.A.? I'll give you the textbook, handbook answer to that. The answer is, if one has no power, one cannot possibly be a racist. Therefore, the people of South Central L.A. are powerless. Therefore, they have no power to implement whatever views they have. Therefore, even if they're racist, they aren't racist because they can't do anything about it. The only people who can be racists in America are people with power. This is how the feminists get out of the charge that they are sexually discriminatory, that they don't like men. This is how every minority group in the world gets out of any blame for being exactly what they accuse others of being. They have no power. So this is about power. This is about the transfer of power, the usurpation of power, the grabbing of power, the unfair distribution of power, whatever you want to call it. So we will never be able to say that the speech coming out of South Central Los Angeles over the weekend was hate speech. We will never be able to say it was racist. My wife has a brilliant question. She says, I would love to ask the Reverend Jackson one question. Reverend Jackson, will there ever be a time, is there a situation in which you can imagine that a white person would be critical of a black and you would not say it's racism? Can my husband, for example, Reverend Jackson, sit on his radio program, be critical of the decisions of a single black person without you and everybody else assuming that what's behind the criticism is racism? Can you give me a circumstance? And her theory is that never will we be able to get to the point where a white can be critical of a black and have there not be some civil rights leader somewhere or some thought give birth somewhere that racism or a racial component is behind it. Yet, in this country today, you can have things happen like Willie Brown's criticism of Elvis Gerbach, and no racial component will be factored. I happen to think that Willie Brown is a bit of a racist. I think he doesn't like very many white people. I think he has an animus for many white people. But when he criticized Gerbach, I didn't even think of a racial component to it because I don't think he meant anything racial by it. I think he was just being himself because he was in Paris, France. And I guess he thought that distance would water down his comments somewhat. Now, I could be dead wrong. He could have been totally racial in his comment about Elvis Gerbach. I just don't think so. I just think that he was commenting on the play of the guy and the embarrassed San Francisco or whatever. There may be some racial component to it. Fact of the matter is, if you turn it around and have Willie Brown be white and a quarterback he's criticizing be black, that's all anybody will discuss. Here is, who's next? There we go. David in Flushing. I'm glad you called Flushing in Queens. Welcome to the program.
Mega Dittos Rush from Flushing, New York.
You bet.
How you doing?
Good.
Listen, as there's a call for a boycott against Texaco from the Reverend Jackson and Al Sharpton, I've never once in their political careers ever heard them ever say, let's boycott against drugs. And I'd like to know why that is.
Oh, Jesse has on occasion.
Oh, he has?
Oh, yes. Not publicly. I can remember. There are two phases of the life of the Reverend Jackson. The Reverend Jackson used to go into schools. Your point is, by the way, get your point, and it's a good one. The Reverend Jackson used to go into schools all the time, tell people not to do drugs. And I've got him on tape. We showed him on my television show a couple of years ago, excoriating them for blaming race for their troubles. He was saying, hey, nobody made you get pregnant. Nobody made you take drugs. Nobody made you did this. His I am somebody days have long gone. There's no power or acquisition in that. Certainly no stage. I think he misreads that. I think if Jesse Jackson went back to his I am somebody days, he'd find a far more receptive crowd to it than what he's doing today. But the Texaco thing, I haven't talked about that today in connection with all this, and Mr. Snerdley just made a point about that I want to pass on to you right after the break, so don't go away.
How would you like to be your own boss? Be in business for yourself, make $25,000 to $50,000 a year, working 5 to 10 hours a week. Call Telcard, the prepaid phone company, 1-800-791-0999, and learn about people just like you and me making up to $50,000 a year or more working part-time. Imagine $25,000 to $50,000 a year. It's easier to get started than you think. 800-791-0999. Get the details. 800-791-0999.
This is WGBR News, Goldsboro's very own.
For WGBR News, I'm Thomas Vick. Mount Olive officials say the American Canoe Association's suit against the town of Mount Olive has been put on hold. This according to Mount Olive Mayor B.R. Huggins. Huggins says the association is in agreement that Mount Olive was only in violation of flow regulations at the town's wastewater treatment plant. Huggins notes even though the plant was handling more than it was supposed to be, every drop of water run through the plant was properly treated. It was simply too much. According to Huggins, the Canoe Association will probably enter suit against some of the larger cities across North Carolina. Among those would be ones that have larger and more frequent violations. The association has agreed to notify Mount Olive's town attorney, Carol Turner, of any future plans to resurrect its suit against Mount Olive. Huggins says town officials are not concerned about the possibility of such action because measures are being taken at this time to make sure there are no grounds for suit against the town by anyone in the future. A Wayne County woman was a big winner this weekend in a regional country radio station contest. 61-year-old Dorothy Addison, who lives on Boswell Road in northwestern Wayne County, won a 14-by-60-foot Fleetwood home. To go along with the new home, Addison won several other prizes. The estimated value of the prize package, $18,000. Wayne County Health Department officials have issued words of caution they say should be taken into consideration, especially by those who hunt. Officials say hunters should keep a close eye on checking for ticks after coming in from a hunting trip. Officials add now until the end of the year will be the worst time for ticks. Ticks often carry two types of diseases that can be fatal if not treated soon after contracted: Lyme disease and Rocky Mountain spotted fever. These words of caution go out to pet owners as well who let their pets go outside. The Wayne County Social Service Work First program continues to have a tremendous impact in the workforce by helping keep more aid to families with dependent children recipients from drawing their monthly welfare benefits check and getting a job. Work First program officials indicate this year around 700 mothers have quit receiving their checks from the AFDC program and gone to work under the Work First program. I'm Thomas Vick for WGBR News.
Well, a weak cold front looks like it should push through the area from the west sometime tonight, but there's not a lot of really cold air back behind it. And our forecast for the afternoon, we'll call it mostly cloudy and mild, some patchy light rain and possibly a few showers drifting in from the west. We'll have highs this afternoon around 59 to 65. Then tonight, cloudy with scattered showers possible. Lows tonight in the upper 40s to low 50s. On Tuesday, we'll have morning clouds around. They'll give way to gradually increasing sunshine. Highs tomorrow around 57 to 63. I'm Mike Moss at the Weather Center.
Back we go to the phones on the Rush Limbaugh program, 800-282-2882. Oh, first, Mr. Snerdley's point. Mr. Snerdley said that, and he was talking about racial relations in general. He says he was exempting the event this weekend in South Central Los Angeles. He said, look, Rush, everybody ought to be encouraged by what's been going on lately. He says, look at the Texaco situation. Look around America. Everybody you run into is outraged that Texaco would do what they did. This is a far cry from 15 or 20 years ago. 30 years ago, where nobody would have been mad and nobody wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. Look at all the progress that's been made. Everybody was outraged. These racial circumstances and relations in this country, according to Mr. Snerdley, are actually improved. And I think that's probably true. That's one of the frustrating things. The point is, though, that this is about the underclass in America. The problem we continue to have, and there are people who are genuinely interested in solving this underclass problem, and and I'm one of them, and it's these episodes. The Texaco thing is disturbing in its own right, but it's nothing to do with the underclass. This South Central thing, though, that is disturbing because it indicates just how truly difficult eradicating this whole problem of the underclass in this country is going to be. In the Texaco situation, that worked out. The Texaco people were fired. The tapes were leaked. The information was made available. Restitution was made. That worked. You might say, well, Rush, it shouldn't happen in the first... Well, let's be real, it did, but look at the change. Look at how it was dealt with and how quickly it was dealt with, as opposed to how it might not have been so properly dealt with years ago. Anyway, Tom in Fort Scott, Kansas, hello. Welcome to the Rush Limbaugh program. Nice to hear from you, sir.
Dittos from the heartland.
It's my pleasure to hear from you, sir.
Hey, as I was watching that news conference from South Central, the thing that struck me was, why did they even bother with it? Could they really have expected intelligent discussion and conversation to take place? These people are obviously and understandably outraged and upset about a number of things, and they were all over the place, from Ollie North and George Bush running a secret government to pigs on the roof and pigs behind the curtain, and this is all a set-up job, and that welfare mom at the end that wouldn't sit down. And if it was a public relations ploy, I think it kind of backfired on Miss McDonald there, because I don't think anybody looked very good in it.
Well, are you saying why? From whose standpoint are you questioning why hold a meeting?
The Representative McDonald and the CIA from even agreeing to go and do.
Oh, come on! I guarantee you, Representative McDonald looked good. I guarantee you. I mean, she gave these people access to the CIA director. When has that ever happened? No, she's a huge winner. This is my problem. She's a huge winner with no results.
Nothing happened.
She's a huge winner, though. This is my point. This same thing is good intentions. Forget the results of any program. She wanted to help. She's a huge winner. Deutsch.
Even though she looked bad?
Yes. She looked bad to you. Do you think she looked bad to those people?
Well, some of them were shouting down, we won't vote for you next time, or we shouldn't have elected you. That was because she was kind of sticking up for Deutsch there at times.
Well, she was sticking up for his right to be heard.
Right.
She was sticking up for which those people to be dealt with. They'll be talked to, and she I guarantee you she's going to be a winner out of this in the long haul. Deutsch, why would Deutsch go? Well, what did Deutsch say? Deutsch said...
He didn't say much.
Well, he did. Well, about your question, he did. He said these charges have got to be answered. These charges are outrageous. The fact of the matter is, Deutsch was nowhere near the CIA when all this stuff is alleged to take place.
Alleged to take place, right?
Yes, yes.
Well, that's, Jesse Jackson, though, didn't call off the dogs, even though Texaco settled. He said, well, we're still going to boycott, and we're still going to march for a while, because
of course,
settled too